Hey, Trojan family, what's going on? Welcome back to the USC LAFB show here on the LAFB network. I'm your host, Ryan Dyberd. Thank you for always making this a part of your day. Happy Friday. Hope everyone's enjoying it, getting ready for a long weekend, MLK Day on Monday. So hope everyone can enjoy it with friends and family and hopefully some good USC news. We are hours from the transfer portal closing. I believe it closes at midnight Eastern time, so 9 p.m. Pacific time. Still no update on Alex Graham. This is actually going to be a recruiting update. But just really quickly, I have heard that it looks like a contract should be signed here soon. He obviously still has some time to enter the portal here, just a couple of hours. But hopefully if it's NIL or whatever it's related gets worked out here in the next couple hours and we get the hourglass from the USC account and that we get him re-signed, as that's a big one. So we'll talk about that if or not it happens. But right now, little recruiting update for you as we are really starting to heat up in the 2027 cycle. It felt like this time last year we were already real hot and heavy in recruiting. Obviously, it's a little different considering USC was building such a monster class last year, and now this year it'll be a little more tepid, a little less, but it's going to be a busy spring nonetheless. We got the first commitment from Aaron Washington, and now one of the guys they've been pursuing for quite some time is his teammate, or should I say former teammate. I'll end the video on that. Defensive back for modern day, Danny Lang. And an update from Adam Gorney of Rivals stating that Danny Lang and his family are expected to have a dinner meeting with USC on Monday. We'll see what powers that be of USC will be with that meeting. One would assume it'd be Chad Bowden, likely some of his staff, potentially Lincoln Riley, and then likely either Doug Belk or Trevon Reed. So that's a dinner meeting, a big boost in his recruitment where USC is firmly in the lead right now. As it stands right now, based on what I've heard, based on Gorney and others reporting, USC kind of firmly in the lead with Oregon in second and Ohio State in third. Those are kind of the top three as it stands right now for Danny Lang. Auburn, Michigan, Texas Tech, Ole Miss, and others are all lurking and all obviously going to try to get Lang on campus, and that will be the big thing in his recruitment. Is his dad, Danny Lang Sr., has said many times that they're going to take their time with the process. He wants to get his son on as many visits as possible. Obviously, that is a huge integral part in the recruiting process, getting to campus, seeing the facilities, meeting some of the teammates, meeting the coaches, meeting maybe teachers or whatever. I know USC on their visits, they have you kind of, hey, what do you want your major to be? Let's take you to where you would be going to class every day, the teachers you would be having, the professors that would be, leading you outside of football. So all of that super important. So Danny Lang not expected to make a decision until summer, but this meeting on Monday will be very important because it will keep the momentum going and hopefully provide clarity, maybe on a timeline will be kind of important because will USC, and I don't want to keep saying the same thing over and over again, but it seems like they would take 4 defensive backs. Will they take 5? Because they already got Aaron Washington. Danny Lang now is a guy they really want. Duve Williams, a guy that they've recruited for a long time, and he's a heavy favorite to SC. And then when you look at the safety position of Gavin Williams and Honor Falave Johnson, do you take all 5? Or are you telling these guys, hey, got 4 spots. You want to take your visits, that's as you should, but don't take too long because if we fill up, we're moving on. Not saying that's exactly what's going to happen, but I'm sure that conversation will come up of, hey, take your time, but not too much time because, we're not going to play necessarily hardball, but we do have limited spots for what we're offering. And if it fills up, we want you to be a part of it, but we can't wait forever, especially, if we, not saying this is going to happen, but if USC waits and then gets burned anyway, and then they have to go a different direction. So big meeting on Monday, and will be really interesting to see how that all shakes out. But right now, USC the leader with Oregon and Ohio State coming in after that. Quick update on Aaron Washington, his teammate. And this will have no effect, I don't think, on USC, but interesting nonetheless. So he announced this morning on Instagram, have it up here on the screen, that he will be transferring from Mater Dei to IMG Academy across the country in Bradenton, Florida. This is interesting because, Mater Dei is a pretty powerhouse program. Obviously, he was hurt last year, only played in 2 games. But, staying home, committed to SC already. He's the first commit in this 2027 class. So just really interesting why move across the country. Maybe this is his hey, I'm going to get out of the state just for 1 year, kind of experience living out of California, and then I get to come home and play my college ball. But yeah, you see kids all the time that are at public schools or lesser tier private schools, then go to IMG or come to California and go to Mater Dei or Bosco. So really an interesting move. I don't have the intel on that or haven't spoken to his family or anything like that. Maybe we'll hear here soon, but definitely interesting that he would decide to make the move from Mater Dei to IMG. The reason why that relates a little bit is there's been some conversation that him and Danny Lang being teammates at Mater Dei, there is a real possibility that they want to continue being teammates at the collegiate level. Not saying this severs that, but it is interesting now that unless Danny Lang's going to go to IMG also, interesting that he is leaving Mater Dei and leaving being teammates with Danny Lang. They weren't a package deal per se, but I think there's certainly some hope that they could both play their college ball together and do that at USC. So this doesn't affect USC and Darren Washington in any way, shape, or form. USC has kind of rebuilt that pipeline for Mater Dei, but they also have a pretty strong pipeline with IMG, getting both Kenai Pepe and Brett Collegier in last year's class on the offensive side of the ball. They're trending for some of the top prospects, which I'll talk about later, from IMG already. So they have a great relationship and already kind of a great pipeline built with IMG Academy. So this doesn't affect at all USC and Aaron Washington standing, but just kind of an interesting move on his part and could maybe have some impact a little bit on Danny Lang and what he ends up ultimately deciding to do. So there's your quick little update there. We'll have some more recruiting stuff later today. Polynesian Bowl tonight, or I guess Pacific time today. I think it's 6 p.m. Oh yeah, tonight, 6 p.m., 4 p.m. local time, I think, in Hawaii. But 6 p.m. Pacific time, you see Boobie Feaster, Talanoa Ely, and others all out there performing in Hawaii. So make sure to check that out. It's streaming on NFL Network, and we'll have a recap here on USC LFB of how our USC Trojans did perform in that. So be on the lookout for that. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. We appreciate it. If you are interested, I just launched a t-shirt with our logo, our fun little USC LAFB Coliseum-like logo. If you want to pick that up, it helps support me, helps support LAFB, helps support the channel and the show. So that would certainly mean the world. You can also become a member of the channel, which gives you a discount on that shirt, gets you 25 to 50% off. Plus, then you're helping us as well every month. But at the very minimum, just hit the subscribe button and let's keep this thing rolling. Plenty more coming for you, family. Enjoy your Friday. Talk to y'all soon. And as always, fight on. Hey, Trojan family, thank you so much for hanging out and watching the USC LAFB show. Before you go, let me tell you quickly about our friends over at Sleeper. Go right now, download the Sleeper app. It's the #1 sports app, not just for season-long fantasy, but they've got live pickers, they've got live stat updates, they've got a chat you can chat with other users, plus the daily pick'em, which is a blast, or daily fantasy, whatever you want to call it. You go and pick 2 to 8 players across any sports. If you're talking USC, go choose J.D. Mayav in his next matchup. Pick more or less passing yards, more or less touchdowns. You stack those, and you can win real money. When you go to make your first deposit, make sure you use our promo code USCLAFB. You're going to get a match deposit up to $100. Put in $100, you get $100 free to play with from Sleeper. Put in $10, they'll match you that $10, so now you're sitting at $20 to play with. But also, right now, for any new users, no deposit required. You get $20 free entry. You can stack both. You can get the $20 for free, go make a deposit, use USC LAFB, and now you've got a bunch of free money to play with right there on the Sleeper app. Check it out, Trojan family, and when you do, tell them the guys at the USC LAFB sent you.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.